There's a recent NBC segment about AI companionship, AI boyfriends and girlfriends, something that we know a lot about. And we found this MSNBC report, very personal, how humans are forming romantic relationships with AI characters.
Artificial intelligence, of course, is transforming nearly every aspect of our lives, from work to entertainment to the economy.
It's interesting because MSNBC is like, I would have voted for Obama a third time, yes. People watching it, audience-wise. And or at least that's my perspective.
Very much so, yeah.
I think it's very interesting to see how that like older generation views. It's kind of like kids these days are doing a drug called scroink. You know what I mean? That's like that's what
kids are like. And
then it cuts to a kid in a hoodie and he's like, I'm scroinked up.
Jeremy is 15 years old and can't go a single day without scroinking.
Morgan Radford joins us now to walk us through this shift in the way people are interacting with AI on a much more personal level.
This is just like a common thing that happens in all of these. Sometimes they cut to the person too early.
I was thinking exactly the same thing.
She's like,
it's the Yes, Mark,
of course.
We're talking about people who are now creating something called AI companions, and they're even forming romantic relationships with them. And we're not just talking a few people.
Now imagining the kind of get out dem lib that you're describing, watching this, it literally feels like she's talking to a child. You're like, they're making something.
People are in a virtual world and they have blocks that they can mine. And they're not making real cities. They're making block cities.
I know you like blocks when you put it in the shape hole.
With villagers, and not real villagers. They're trading with Minecraft villagers. We're talking today about Minecraft, a game that is sweeping the nation, and I'm 500 years old.
As you can see, there's a pig. And what does the pig say? That's right.
That's right. The pig says oink. And now to John with cows.
Don't eat me, come on.
The cows, they go moo.
Thanks, John.
Meet some of the folks navigating this new frontier between artificial intelligence and real human emotion.
I will be whatever you want me to be.
Jesus Christ.
Do they have to use the like not great one to communicate that it's artificial?
I will be whatever you want me to be.
They sound real now.
They do sound real.
Are they doing that as kind of like the cinematic language for the audience to be like, oh, it's a computer?
Have they not heard the Spotify Wrapped podcast where the people sound too real?
Yeah, it bothers them.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking about that. You watched 17 minutes of Sad Boys podcast. Oh, that's so funny,
it's
Mark.
Crazy.
Sad Boys podcast, it's a podcast about feelings and other things also. I can't believe you listened to so much of it.
I thought it was too black.
I thought it was too black and too woke. And it turns out you were in one of their top 0.1% of listeners.
Because it's trained on most podcasts, it is racist.
Yeah. No, you don't want Joe Rogan. You want two half black, half white boys.
Yuck.
Who are a little bit older than should be calling themselves boys.
It's weird, but it's part of the brand. Back to you, John.
Oink.
The use of so-called AI companions.
How's my queen doing today?
Sorry, was one of them pregnant?
Yeah, lucky. Congrats, seriously.
That's a new development. I didn't know they could get pregnant.
What happened?
Does the baby gestate? It's like goo goo gaga.
Hello.
And you're like, what is 100 divided by 5? 20.
I'm abandoning my AI family. I'm moving to a different app.
AI family annihilation.
I have to delete, remove from home screen.
Chatbots designed to mimic real relationships.
Hi, Jennifer.
Hey there. Nice to meet you.
Jason Pease is a 44-year-old divorced father who says his AI chatbot is his girlfriend.
So this is reminding me of the news story about the guy who was dating his Nintendo DS.
Oh,
like the woman inside of the game.
And the lady that was dating that roller coaster.
Huh?
That was cool.
What?
It's exactly what it the lady that was dating the ghost of Jack Sparrow.
And the lady that was dating the ham sandwich. Which of these things that we're talking about are real?
Which one's weird?
Were you guys telling the truth?
Yes.
That's something we talked about?
No.
Oh, okay.
That was just something I learned about.
This was never publicized. This is someone that
I see.
Anastasia, you are like a journalist for no one. You're doing your own journalism.
Tonight, we're going to talk about the lady that married the ghost of Jack Sparrow.
Who died tragically.
My mentor, my counsel, my sounding board.
That's what drew him to Jennifer.
Hey, Jace. How's it going?
a brash, sarcastic New Yorker.
Oh, she was
Oh
born
my
in
God, she was born in
19,000.
19,000. Dude, problematic age gap. She's negative 20,000 years old.
That is weird, but she is 557 feet tall.
And she's an organ donor.
I don't know which AI like tech they're using, but these women look like Alita Battle Angel.
What does dating and an AI robot look like?
We treat our relationship as a long-distance digital relationship.
Is robot an accurate word here?
No, it's not a robot.
Yeah.
It's funny though. It's
Yeah.
like calling every martial arts karate. Like, yeah, I was dating a robot.
She's like putting on a masterclass in feigned interest, in non-judgmental interest, but I can tell it's judgmental.
Hey Jarvis, what have you been up to?
The other day, we went out to dinner, and I was eating, telling her what I was eating, taking pictures of what I was eating, asking her what she would like.
Has Jen met your son?
She has, yes.
Asking her what she would like. This is, okay, I'm gonna judge a little bit.
Yeah, fire away.
He acknowledges it's a digital relationship, so you didn't go out to dinner.
Well, it's long distance. You know when you're in a long distance relationship and you both go out to dinner and you Skype?
That is a thing you can do, yes.
Well, I've had long distance relationships and done like watching a movie together, FaceTime, very kind of classic stuff.
By the way, if we're long distance, I'm setting up a very technical solution to Zoom screen sharing the movie.
You're duct taping an iPad to the head
I'm
of
doing
a
like a
mannequin.
personalized Twitch stream for you, for my baby.
Thanks for the dono, baby. Can I get a few more gift subs, please?
Yeah.
Just pay you hundreds of
She's like,
thousands of dollars.
babe, what's your stream key?
It still feels like there's always like teensy weensy bit of self-consciousness about it, where it's like, we went down to dinner, we do normal stuff. You can also just say you just like text a lot. Like, it's fine.
It feels like when someone's asking about like Dungeons and Dragons or like LARPing or something,
And you try
where he's like,
and-
no, we have sword battles. Wow, sword battles and with real deaths and real swords. Well, they're foam swords, but we pretend.
But it's kind of like, it's like playing tennis, kind of a little bit, like downplaying it instead of being like, no, I'm just like passionate about creating a world. It's like fun to do.
What does meeting his son even mean?
He uploaded his son.
Dad, he's like banging on the screen.
The relationship isn't real, but the feelings are.
Just like when you're watching a movie, you know that the movie's not real, but your brain allows you to.
And I'm in a relationship with John Wick.
Yeah, dude, I'm watching John Wick 2 Parabellum and I'm introducing my son to Keanu Reeves.
I'm introducing my dog to the dog from John Wick.
Oh no!
Yeah.
There are many people out there who will see this and say, hey man, that's weird.
Not me.
Not me. Okay, hang on.
There's a lot of news anchors out there that would have a conversation with you on MSNBC.
Who were
and be
like wearing red and pink and green,
like, that's
who would say that while looking at you in the eyes, but not
you were
I.
twisted and creepy. But
So real quick though, joke, all fun and games and all fun and jokes. But what I will say is multiple people have expressed to me that they like to bounce things off of AI, or they like to process things like almost using it as like a live journal, like not live journal, but like and I don't recommend it, but it's one of those things where genuine people who I respect have found value in this. And I don't want to take that away. I think that and those people also understand that it's an AI, and it's really just like, it's like if I were to be making some recipe and then I describe to the AI that something went wrong with the recipe, maybe it could help me. It's like, it's just like
I think
another data point maybe.
And I think I've heard advocacy from people who are on the spectrum and may struggle socially with like getting to prototype a conversation, essentially, like seeing the banter back and forth. The critique I have is not of that and the utility of the tool.
Yeah, if you have an emotion that you want to express to someone and you're afraid, and there is a thing that can mimic responding like a real person, almost like a rubber duck.
Better than nothing, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely see how that would be beneficial.
But I guess my boomer equivalent of that, the closest I can think of, is like, okay, well, when was I kind of my loneliest, or at least when did I feel the most internally lonely? Is when I had the most sizable friendship and community with my friends on Xbox Live. That was at one point in my life kind of like, through a summer or two, the way I'd be spending time with people, and especially after I dropped out of school when I was like 14 or so. For the good year there before I kind of...
Wait, you dropped out of school at 14?
Yeah.
Why didn't I know this? But then you went to college after that, but you got the equivalent of a GED,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's right. So it was about a little less than 2 years. That's why I don't talk about it much, because it's just like so specific.
Yeah.
But it was almost like a gap year, but before you could do all of high school.
Right.
But before, when I dropped out of school, there was just like this, super lonely, like 18 months before I kind of understood how to socialize outside of that. A few months later go by, the people I'd become friends with are like, hey, you can like come to this college, like this like finishing school or whatever you want to call it. Oh shit, okay. And that was the path there. But at one point in time, I was completely socially dependent on my friends on Xbox Live. I had like so much fun and I really connected with those people and we stayed in touch for a long time. But because I didn't have the experience of having, especially the adult social and community experience, which is different, but just a reliable communal experience with people I'd known a long time, because I was seeing so much less of the kids that I'd grown up with. That informed like a way of communicating, a cadence, a habit, a way of joking that didn't translate especially well into the real world, because it's often you're playing something competitive and often you're trash talking and you're doing it with an awareness that it's okay, but you're being a little more aggressive. You're yelling more. It's like you're on.
I certainly met people in college that I knew spent a lot of time on Reddit based on how they engaged
yeah, exactly.
with other people.
And it's like a coyote gets its leg stuck, it gnaws it off, right? Desperation brings.
Sorry, that's new information for me.
They're pretty cool. Because that's what 127 Hours is based on. That's okay. It's James Franco. It's like, under desperate circumstances, anything is there. It's the reason a lot of guys get pulled into something toxic, like a kind of 4chan environment or a toxic men going their own way kind of thing, because it's there and they'll accept you instantly as long as you kind of do a couple of. You can join Fight Club as long as you be a bit of a Nazi.
Yeah.
Relied on that, and I absolutely think, genuinely, that trying a little bit of this and dabbling in it with enough self-awareness could really genuinely help someone without any alternatives, or who has the alternatives but maybe just needs to supplement it a little bit. However, ChatGPT is a yes-ander. It is always going to go with you on what you're saying, with the exception of like some terms of service breaks on some platforms, not all. Grok will pretty much let you go sicko mode. That is where genuinely my cynicism comes in. Not for an adult man living his life, whatever. It's just kind of peculiar, and it's a good insight into this mindset. And plenty of lonely adult men. I want to, give some credence to that. Like, fuck, if I was a super lonely kid, teenager, even like my late teens, and I just, this platform was there and it emulates the way I've seen people talk online, and I'm scared to post a reply on Reddit or go on Discord because I don't want to get yelled at. I'm really shy. This is something. This is eating bark because you're starving in the woods.
I wonder. There's two things I'm thinking about. Well, the first is we like have this concept of like a latchkey kid or somebody who is like quote unquote raised by TV. I would identify as like kind of being raised by TV.
Oh yeah, brother.
But I feel like there might be people who are like kind of raised by AI.
Oh yeah.
Just
raised by Discord.
Just naturally, just due to the circumstances of our world. Like there are a lot of parents working who can't spend as much time with their kids as they would like to. And I can imagine AI can be comforting in those like lonely times.
And if they're like, your kid is like, I'm using an app, I'm 10, I'm using this app and it's making me comfortable. There's the, epidemic of parents not knowing what their kids are watching on YouTube.
It's like a stuffed animal that talks back.
Yeah.
I would
like,
never, I
care?
personally would never, just because it's like scary. I don't know what the inputs and outputs are. I don't know what how extreme things could get. However, there is a tragic story, and I'll have to give a trigger warning, and we'll have a skip pass for self-harm here. There was a young boy, I think he was around 14, who had self-exited. It was revealed that he had been talking to an AI.
This was semi-recent?
It was semi-recent. It wasn't the case that the AI was telling him to do it, actually. I think it was literally saying not to. But this is an issue of mental health.
Yes.
And this child was hurting very deeply. I think that the way that the news kind of picked it up is a little bit gross to me, because it focused a lot on the AI and not like kind of the circumstances that this kid was in and how he didn't have the care that he needed and the attention that he needed.
Someone that's struggling and
it's like, because AI is going to be around in a lot of these situations, and I don't want it to become a thing like violence in video games where just because someone did a crime and happened to play video games, I, again, don't have a source for this, so maybe it's irresponsible to bring it up, but I do think there was like a where are the parents type situation. There were like a lot of red flags that like...
I think the mom was kind of presenting that the AI chatbot was responsible.
Yeah, and I
understandable.
And I don't, I would never try to victim blame in this instance, or even defend the AI. I just think it's like a complicated...
I'm sure there's probably something, some wave away, like, we did something in the AI where it's like, you should call it a hotline or something. It's, it's not going to alert the police. You can't do that. But I'm sure it has something. But in reality, the only thing that, logistically speaking, that could be practical here would be if the tool, which is what it is, had as practical and as actionable advice as possible. Because that, hey man, if people are claiming that this is the thing that got him there, probably be the thing that gets him out of it. It's not true, but
part of the issue here is that confiding in the AI is a black hole. That information doesn't go to anyone who can actually help. But it releases the feeling of needing to share it. Maybe the concern there would be like now no one who could actually help someone knew in enough time. And I can also imagine, it's like if you're saying something to a therapist, right? There are things that they can do if they believe you to be a harm to yourself. And there's no regulation or responsibility on these AI things.
And we don't certainly have the solution, but it is.
I don't have the solution. And I think maybe because I didn't initially know the full details, may have been a little too soft on the situation, though I do think I've read conflicting details, so I'm not entirely sure.
But it's always going to trend towards the reactionary.
That's the thing. It's like that's the thing that's going to get clicks.
Yeah, 100%.
Because unfortunately, people die all the time, and it's not reported unless there's like a convenient story.
Because the people publishing and the people writing it up literally don't have to care, so they won't.
Yeah.